Thanks for stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but it means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy watching videos while you work, sometimes you find that the content you like to watch is very visually engaging and you're several hours in and haven't gotten nearly as far along in your project as you would have liked to. So that's where I come in. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today's episode, we are going to dive in one last time with the Bold Baby Blanket. This is what, the 6th, 7th, or 8th time we've worked on this together? Something like that. We're not quite in the double digits yet, but we are getting there. And we are so, I am so happy because I finally got to the 82nd row of the last of the purple. So let me hold it this way. You can see we have 3 different blocks, so it's bottom up, and so we started out with our deeper purple, then we had this a little bit lighter shade of lilac, and then we had this very faint lilac color here, and this is all with the paint box Baby DK acrylic line that is on lovecrafts.com, or Love Knitting is like the subsection of Lovecrafts. And so I got enough for this blanket and the Magic Numbers blanket that you may have watched me work on before. And so we're now done with all of the purple parts, and the last part is the section that involves this cream color here, this very light white. And this is pretty dangerous because one, it's showing up a lot of fuzzies that are not the material itself. So it's like my hair is stuck to it, my partner's hair is stuck to this, we have some cat hair in here. So if you do knit with this light one, you definitely want to go through it and pick out like all your fuzzies once you've knit. I started going through this section already finding cat hairs, but since I'm knitting most of this downstairs in a room where my cats are, it's kind of like a lost cause right now. So pretty much before I block it and everything and get it ready to wrap and present to the family, I will go over it thoroughly then, because as soon as I find one hair, there's like 10 more that are just getting collected from rubbing on my pants or something. So it's going to take a lot of meticulous time to go through section by section, front and back, and make sure that there isn't any cat fur on it before I give it to the family. But before we begin with that, I am going to cut the excess I have of the purple, because I had been, which I thought was a very good idea, going through, and this is linked below if you want to use this pattern yourself. It's free. You can buy the kit with Yarnspirations, or you can use your own yarn, and I chose to use my own. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I was smart this time, and from the last blanket I knit, I realized it was better for me to weave in my ends as I change colors, or if I start a new ball after I've knit a few rows, just to go through and weave them in, so then I only have to cut them and weave them in, or like cut them at the very end after I've woven everything in. So we'll just start with like regular knitting, and I'll weave that in off camera later. But I did want to show you guys, before I start, just a couple other projects kind of that I have planned. Nothing super crazy, but since I did just cut that little bit of yarn, I have this scrap left. So I have this this little bit left of that color. I have a lot. I have pretty much a whole ball of the color before because I only needed just a teeny bit to finish off those rows. I have a little bit of cream left from the last blanket I knit. I used that same cream for the Magic Numbers blanket, but I have a little left of that. I have some sock weight yarn left from the Raylight socks that I knit that I messed up on, so I kept them for myself. And I have some worsted weight left from the Cozy Armchair sock that I knit for my brother. I have a little bit, just a teeny bit left of the Seafoam green of the Magic Numbers blanket that I knit the first time around. I used that with the cream. And that's it. So I'm hoping to use those little scraps to make what's the beginning of some more of the little tiny cats that I knit earlier, because I found out that one of my coworkers who had given me actually the prayer shawl book, and is just an overall really, really nice lady, a knitter, of course, and I gave her a lot of extra yarn that I had earlier because she does a lot of charity knitting. I just found out that she's been furloughed at our job. So of our department, like the entire company I work for, there are 23 people that have been furloughed, and I just found out about this, and she is one of them. There are 2 people who are in like our larger department, but she's like in our smaller subset, and it's really sad. I don't have her personal phone number, but I do know where she lives, so I'm hoping I can just write her a really nice letter and send her some of the cats and let her know that I'm thinking of her, because it's tough. She does have someone at home who I think is considered more of like an essential worker, so they are still working. So I'm hoping that she can get some support. And it's not like a super, super long-term thing, thank goodness. But I was just like, man, thinking about her. I was talking with another coworker who actually gave me a lot of the yarn that I'm going to show you next. And she was taking it pretty hard as far as just thinking about our friend. So if you want to send good vibes to her, I think she would appreciate that. I know I wouldn't. Well, I know I wouldn't know what to do right now if I was in her situation. I know what I should be doing, like, making sure I get to the unemployment office and everything like that. But like, we got the news like so fast. It was like, boom, we got an email like, hey, there are going to be some people furloughed and we need to have an emergency meeting right now. And noticed that she was not in the meeting, and our supervisor was like, our department head was like, yeah, she's not going to be in this one, and she's also the person who just got furloughed, so, of our department. And I said, why her? Like, what was the choice? Or how was the decision made by like the company's head or something? And they basically said that it just came down to who is likely going to be able to sustain a working from home position while we are still kind of in this state of quarantine. So it's tough. Thankfully it's still, a long time, but she should be coming back to us in August 1st, I believe. It's a 2-month thing, so like as soon as the fiscal year ends, there's like another month, and then she's back. So thankfully it's not forever. Some people have longer, and some people have a really short one, like just a month, so then they'd come back like July, but hers is like the middle one, so tough. But anyway, so yes, the scrap yarn I do want to knit her some of those kitties. I know she really liked the cat feet of the auction gift that I donated for our silent auction we had in the holiday time. So I know it's not like $1 million or something, but I think she'll appreciate that I made her something. But also, speaking of other projects that I'm working on, my other coworker who gave me the Yarn Harlots book as well as a lot of yarn, she gave me some Loppy, L-O-P-I, bulky yarn. I've knit a scarf out of this exact color, this super bulky, and it's kind of itchy. It wasn't for me. It wasn't a scarf for me, but the person who is wearing it appreciates it. So that's good. And I did try to soften it as best as I could with the lanolin, like the Eucalan wool soak. And so I have this purple too. So my project is that in the future, you're going to see this in the future, but a couple days ago, this week, May 5th, I don't know what's going on downstairs, but there's a lot of thumping down there. May 5th was Koji's birthday. He turned old. He turned 5. So you'll see in the future a video with him and I celebrating his birthday and just the cats in general. But I want to make them a new blanket. So for the blanket, I have to wind this up probably later today so I could actually use it for the project. But cat blanket is coming. I'm not going to leave it as is. I'm actually going to make it pretty big and felt it by just throwing it in the wash and then the dryer and the wash and the dryer, blah, 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 till it gets all nice and kind of like a mat. And then that'll be for them. I also, since I am waiting for the rest of my brother and his fiance's birthday gift to come in, so my brother's birthday was May 1st, and my brother's fiance's birthday is the 19th, and the rest of their birthday gift isn't coming in until July. And I'm kind of now thinking if I just want to send what I have to them now and then send that part later, because it's just one piece that I'm waiting for. It's this clear puzzle. I saw this article. A friend shared it on Facebook. I'm like, a clear puzzle? That sounds so hard, but so fun. So I clicked on the link and it advertised this Etsy shop that has a bunch of different sizes. They have like really easy, hard, kind of hard, super duper hard. So the smaller the pieces, of course, the more difficult the puzzle is. And so I got them like the sort of, not the hardest, but like one below the hardest. And well, I thought, well, while I'm waiting, why don't I knit them some socks? And I don't know if you guys saw my yarn curl haul video, but I did get this wound at the yarn shop that I went to, and it's just a cotton blend sock weight yarn, and it's not like 400 and, let's see, what's the standard, like 475 yards or 375 yards, I think, is like sock weight, like the standard length to make a pair of socks, but this one is a little bit shorter than that. So these would probably be more for like ankle socks. And then the same yarn crawl, but I got this and wound it up too till I later found out that you shouldn't wind it until you're going to use it. But these are the two most recently wound pieces of yarn that I have that I should be using soon. And I thought, why not just use it for them? Like, make this yarn a pair of socks for my brother's fiance, and then make this a pair of socks for my brother, and see how it goes. But I do not know how many stitches to cast on for just a vanilla sock for a man size, or I guess not even just a man, but a men's size 11 shoe. Because I think my brother is like an 11 and a half, something like that. And I did the cozy armchair socks for him, but those are with a worsted weight. And since this is a sock weight, I don't know what the conversion is. But I know the internet is going to help me out. So this will be coming down the line very soon. So those are some projects that I have. Those aren't it's not going to be my start to finish time-lapse video, or I have something else coming out, so I won't even say what that is because that'll allude to what that video is going to be. But these are just a couple side projects to add now that I'm just about done with this blanket. So now that that's cleared up, we're going to go ahead and start with this, and we're going to pull it from the outside because it doesn't seem that center pull and me get along very well these days. So we'll work on this. And yeah, so I'll ask you guys, how are you doing this day? Whenever you see this, how are you doing? Is it a weekend? Well, no, it won't be a weekend because I usually just have been uploading during the week now, but is it close to the weekend? Is it, yeah, it probably is like Wednesday, I think, when you see this, or Thursday maybe. So do you have any plans? Right now it's Sunday evening. Earlier today, you may have noticed that I filmed, and then I took a break for lunch, but then lunch turned into me knitting some more on this one because I realized how little I had left of this color, and then it also turned into me working on, well, actually I didn't work on anything. I made the lemon crinkles. So those are done now. So I figure I'll do a little knitting some more and then go ahead and do dinner after that. And I haven't yet, one of my plans this weekend was to organize my hall closet, and it's still on the agenda, but we'll see how it goes. 6. Now the last time I was working with you guys on this, we had quite the issue where I wasn't counting right and ended up messing up, and that was not good. But I'm hoping that we'll do better this time because we're starting fresh. I think Each time I get a new color, it's like a chance to redeem myself. Do you ever feel like that when you're changing color or you're working on a new row and you're like, okay, now's the time? But I'm sure you guys are probably a lot better than I am at, making sure you're not messing up, or if you do, you go back and you fix your mistakes. It's just such a pain for me if I have to tink back like a whole row. I just try to fix it as I go. It sounds like my neighbor's dog is barking in my whole house right now. Like, what is that? That's crazy. Hold on a second. Let me find out why. The barking has subsided. I went downstairs. That the sliding door was open because it was earlier today. It's been hot the last couple days, considering springtime around here usually doesn't feel like spring until maybe early June, and then summer doesn't feel like summer until closer to July. But sliding doors closed, and then I had a lemon crinkle to pep me up a little bit before I came back upstairs. And I know you think, oh, you're spoiling your dinner. Nah, no such thing. So since the current situation, have any of you found a new pattern to do, or have you been pretty much going through old projects that you already had that you need to finish, or kind of sticking with the same stuff? Any new and adventurous patterns yet? I haven't myself, but there's this person I started following, I guess, entity, all wonderful being called West Knits. You guys may have heard of him. But he has like these outrageous patterns, a lot of shawls. I don't know if he does anything other than shawls, but he has like, I think the patterns are available on Ravelry too, but the shop itself, you could buy the kits if you want to buy kits, or just get the patterns, and they look so intricate, really cool, really bold. And I'm not at that level yet to add one to my cart, but I've been keeping my eye out because I would love to do one day. Like, I haven't really been a shawl person myself, but I think it's just I haven't found. I mean, I see a lot of really pretty patterns, and of course, we went through the prayer shawls together and found some very fashionable type ones, which, I didn't think I didn't really know what a prayer shawl was till I got that pattern book, and come to find out they have different representations depending on where you go, I guess. And I was like, oh, these are kind of cool. You know, I could see myself maybe wearing some of these patterns. But for me, when I think of like a shawl, I don't know. I think they just have a rep of being kind of like for old ladies. At least where I grew up, a shawl was always something like your librarian would wear, or your kindergarten teacher, or something. Like, it wouldn't be something you'd wear to make a statement or be fashionable. And so I think that's why, like, in my head, I never just thought about them that way. But I've always been more of like a sweater, more like a cardigan, because I like to have like a layer, but I like pockets. I like to be able to button it up. So I've always kind of gravitated toward, I was going to say garters, cardigans and dusters. But I think if I have a shawl, I would wear it. It kind of just depends on the occasion. Like, if I don't need to carry around my work keys or anything, which might be well till I need to anyway, then I'd probably wear it. I'm kind of excited about the socks, because I bought a lot of, well, not a lot, but various sized itsy bitsy 9-inch length circular needles just for knitting socks. And I wanted to try with my second sock of the Raylite ones that I'm working on for my partner, but considering I haven't worked on that project in a while, the last time I worked on it was with you guys. I'm not very far. I mean, I'm doing like the foot part now before I start shaping the toe, but I still have a ways to go till I can start shaping the toe and working on the next one, because I'm only on sock 1 right now of that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with knitting with itsy bitsy circular needles. I'm hoping it'll be okay. I do need to remember to have stitch markers with me, because when I usually have DPNs, you kind of know the beginning of your round starts on this one, and then your end's over here, and this is where your shaping is, and everything like that kind of makes sense based on what needle you're on. But when you're in circular, of course, you need your stitch markers to indicate where you are in the round. But let me know, have you tried knitting socks with itsy bitsy circulars, or do you always do it with DPNs? Do you do magic loop, or what? What is your method? feel like I'm doing myself a favor by being more quiet when I get to those weird parts, because I'm on the home stretch. There should be no reason why I mess this up now. But it's like talking, walking and chewing gum, where you kind of lose track of where you are. But yes, so earlier I mentioned about the working on the little kitty cats again, and I caved and bought some polyfill on Joann's.com, like the fabric store. They had polyfill because, I've been side-eyeing this guy because he still has a hole here with the stuffing, freely accessible. And, I'm like, I could just I could just take some out of him and make my cats not have to worry about it. But I'm like, nope, I made it this far. I'm not going to unstuff him just to stuff him again. So I did the good thing and bought some more polyfill because I need to stuff my Hello Kitty too. But I like going into the craft store when I need to buy stuff like that. And there is a craft store closer, or there's a Joann's and a Michael's actually really close to me. And I'm like, oh, I could just go in person, but things have happened since the time I said I was going to, and now I can't. But when it comes in, which should be pretty soon, I think I'll have at least some of the cats done in the next couple days here, so I can ship them to her. Trying to think of if the cats are gonna like their blanket. It's kind of like both of their birthday gifts. And that might be a good time for me to practice using my opposite hand to hold my yarn. So instead of holding it with my right hand, I should be able to hold it with my left. Since it'll be felted anyway, it won't really matter about the gauge so much, or tension. Alright. Everything looks good today. Yay! Alright, so the hardest row has been completed. And this next row is one that I usually sail right through. Darn it. There we go. Because I don't have to count. I just have to look at what I have and then do what I need to do, and I should be okay. But as you guys may remember, the last time I said that, it didn't work out that way. But I ended on the right side. I didn't have any weirdness working through the odd row, so let's hope that it comes out the way it's supposed to. Let's hope. I mean, look at this. Let's just enjoy the fact that the sunlight is coming in here. I'm getting my vitamins. Like, spring is here. Actually, when did I have to? Yeah, never mind. We already had to spring forward our clocks. I'm thinking, did I already lose that hour? Yes, I did. I already lost that hour. I think I already complained about that to you guys, so we're back to living our lives. But if it's like this, it's like if we can just figure out as a whole the daylight savings time. It's a thing in the US where in the spring you move your clocks forward an hour, and then in the fall you move your clocks back 1 hour. And that is to account for when the daylight changes. And it was made, some president decided it was a good idea so that you could save on your energy bill because you're not running your lights and all this and that. And I don't think it's been, I'm not sure what the all of the history is, but it was like, it's not really necessary, and some places don't do it. Some states don't even follow it anymore, and I'm hoping my state, one day when things aren't as crazy and we can go back to focusing on things we were focusing on before all of this, we can revisit that and maybe vote to not have it be a thing anymore. I would love to just have a consistent time, and if it's like this all the time, even if it gets dark a little bit earlier with the changing of the seasons, like, I'm fine with living with it being like almost 7 o'clock and the sun's still out and not having to change my clock ever again. So it's just like, time is relative. Like, what difference is making my clock move forward? Like, I still think it's, for a good 2 weeks, I'm still like, it's still 6 o'clock when it's really saying it's 7 o'clock, or it's still 7 o'clock when it's saying it's 6 o'clock, and it's just such a pain. You lose your sleep, you might gain an hour when you switch, but it's not really like you're gaining anything, so I'm like, why do we have to make everything so confusing? So if you don't have to deal with moving your clock forward or backward, depending on the season, do you think that's something you would want to do? Or are you totally fine with how you exist in the world as of now? I would like to just not have to move my clock and get used to having it be light a little earlier in the day or dark a little earlier than in the day forever, and just leave it at that instead of having to change my whole dang clock. Now, one thing I would like to do is go to Alaska. I think it's now if anyone's been there, if you can correct me if I'm wrong. Whew, this one's a little dustier. I think it's in the summer that they have like a whole month where it's just light all the time, even at night. I think that's so cool. I don't think I would mind that. I mean, it probably takes some getting used to, but I mean, if you have blackout curtains, you should be fine. Because it's more like your body is telling you you're tired. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, heck, me, I sleep. I would wake up, you know, this time, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening to start my day if it were up to me because I love being up late and I love sleeping during the day because I'm like half vampire or something. Or cat. I like to think I'm part cat too because I like to sleep a lot. I get all my hours in one chunk instead of like a bunch of mini naps. Because a nap for me is like 4 hours. 3 to 4 hours is a nap for me. So, I sleep. But just, working on your own schedule, waking up when you want, doing what you want to do when you want to do it, and still functioning as a human being. Like, for the longest time, I thought it would be so nice to have different, different places of employ, like different jobs that are open, like when people actually naturally get up instead of like super early hours or crazy late hours. Like if you're not a morning person, but all the jobs that are what you want to do happen to run like 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're like, man, that's a whole stretch of the day where I'm just like out of it because my body is just like, what are you doing up right now? Because like I feel like people like me who aren't morning people don't do as well anywhere. I'll raise my hand, like if I could start school at like noon or 2 or something, like I probably would have been way better off. Like I wasn't struggling or anything, but getting up in the morning, even if I got all the sleep I needed, I got as many hours as I needed, getting up in the morning is hard for me. But I know, like, my aunt will wake up at like 7 in the morning. No alarm. She doesn't need an alarm. She's up. She's ready to go. No problem. And I'm like, oof, I don't know. Some people are like that. Let me know in the comments. Are you an early bird or a night owl? I'm a night owl. My brother is a night owl. Actually, I don't know what he is. I think he's just like, there was like a meme I saw. It was like early bird, night owl, and like awkward pigeon or something like middle ground where you're not really like anything. And I think he's kind of like that. Like he's like me, but he'll sleep like the dead. Like he will sleep, and then just based on when he wakes up, now he's awake, but he's just kind of there. It's not like he's thriving or anything, but I am my best self in the evening. In the evening, late at night, like, was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday, because Thursday was like my Friday, because I was off on Friday, or this past Friday. So, May 1st, yes. I was just up. I didn't go to bed until 9:30. Ooh, excuse me, like 9:30. Saturday morning. So I was up for a long, long time. And I was like, I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I'm already awake. I am living my best life right now, so I'll just keep staying awake. But then finally 9:30 rolled around. I'm like, my eyes are kind of starting to hurt. I'm starting to have those feelings I felt when I was pulling all-nighters in grad school, and it's not a good feeling, so I should probably go to bed now. And it wasn't even like I was super, super tired. Like, I could have stayed up more, but would I be a functioning human or like a gelatinous blob of meh? Probably a gelatinous blob of meh, but I'd still be awake. I could still blink and stuff, but coherency probably would not be there. And sometimes I do that. I'll just like push it, or I'll just stay up as late as I can. And that was like one of those nights where I'm like, let's just see, because I'm not really tired right now. So yeah, but because I stayed up late, I slept a lot Saturday, and then what did I do? Made dinner, but then I went to bed early, like 9:30. No. That was Friday. Yeah. So I'm all crazy. But yeah. So my schedule was just kind of weird, and then I ended up going to bed kind of early for me on Saturday night, yesterday, around like 9:30 or so, 10 o'clock, and was asleep until. And I wasn't even trying to be like a sleep. I thought I was going to take a nap. And I was in the bed because my partner was hot, so they had the sliding door open and the fans on last night. And I'm like, I'm kind of chilly, so I'm going to go upstairs because I don't have those on. And I laid in bed, was like on my phone and stuff, and fell asleep with the phone. I was like this with the phone on my chest. And I went to bed like that. Woke up later. And it was early in the morning, but it was too early for me to be awake. So I was on my phone a little longer and then went back to sleep. And then finally that's when I got up around 7:30 this morning. And I haven't taken a nap. And here it is, probably about that time now, 7:30 or so. And I'm still feeling pretty good. So I'm happy. But I think that means I'm going to be nice and tired to go to bed at a normal time, so I can wake up for work tomorrow. But tonight it's actually going to be a late night because I have to plan when I upload these videos so that I'm not hogging the internet, because my partner will be playing some games, and if I'm uploading to YouTube at the same time they're playing, it slows everything down, and they would rather me not do that while they're in the middle of a game. So I have to wait till they go to bed, and then I can upload. And so I'm trying to keep these actually kind of short so that I don't have to spend a whole lot of time uploading. Because the longer the video, the longer it takes to get it online. So, yeah, we're almost done with this row. And I found, so with the magic number blanket that I knit for the other baby, I found a Snoopy at Target and bought that for the baby boy as well. So they had a blanket and a stuffed animal. And I'm thinking for this girl, I'll get her an elephant. But the elephant's just plain, nothing, no fancy bells or whistles with the elephant. So I want to knit her like a bow or something. Just, yeah, probably just knit like a garter stitch row and tie it around so that she has a cute little ribbon to wear that matches her blanket. And I'll probably do it with this middle color just so it's not middle color, yeah, well, 1, 2, 3. So it's like something in the middle color, like not too dark, not too light, just a cute little accent. So let me make sure I keep track. We just finished the second row. Okay. We just finished the second row, and you can see there's not much here, just a little sliver of cream at the top. But that's okay. That's a good sign. That means we are making our way through, and that's where I want to be right now. So if I'm lucky, I think if I just keep working hard at this, I might have it done by the end of the month. And that'll be perfect timing to have it washed and blocked and ready to go. So you guys will eventually see the finished product on Instagram when I'm done knitting this one. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last time you'll see me working on this blanket, just because it's a shorter project, but I'm also working pretty quickly with it off camera, and I hope I'll have it done soon enough so you guys don't have to see any more of this one, and we can move on to another project very, very soon. And you'll see some of those coming up along the way. So thank you so much. The sun is setting. It's almost time for dinner. We're having a good Sunday evening, and I hope you're having a good whatever day of the week this is when you see this. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.